golly, oh god, that fucked up the camera too. So, you might have thought I was maybe going a little bit over the speed limit of this room, didn't ya? Well, that's the word we're going to be changing today. That's why I was speeding on into the shot. And I want to talk about speed limits because that's not what they are. So I don't like that that is their naming functionality, because they are not treated as a limit, and I don't want them to be with how they are currently constructed. Because my beef with speed limits are that most of the time they are a lot lower than they should be. Because in proper driving conditions, most of the time the speed limit is a lot slower than what you could easily be going in a safe manner if you're a decent driver even. And people recognize this, so everyone goes faster than the speed limit. It always happens. And I absolutely am one of those people. I'd say most people are going probably about 5 miles per hour over the speed limit. I'm probably a little under 10 is usually my window. But in almost every situation, it feels like you gotta be going more than the speed limit, which if you just pay attention to what those words actually are, it's just wrong. And then the penalizations for speeding get so confusing with this, and you don't know when you're okay and when you're not. And I think we should rename speed limit to more accurately represent what they actually are. So like I said, my thoughts on speed limits are that they are basically always slower than they should be. Another thing that shares that characteristic is internet speeds. Absolutely for me. I've gone through a lot of different internet plans. You never get what you pay for. It's always slower than it's supposed to be. And there's always other issues that prop up, and I've been dealing with that for quite a while now. So I decided to kind of incorporate internet into this new word because internet's kind of always feels like it's slower than it should be. Basically, never are you going to get faster speeds than you should have, which is the same as speed limit. Like, when was the last time you're like, oh, the speed limit seems way too high on this road. I can't feel comfortable going 40 miles per hour right now? Basically never, you know? And it's the same thing with internet speed. It's like, oh, I'm paying for a gig. Suddenly I'm getting 4. Like, no, that's not the download speeds that you're going to be encountering. It's more like, oh, I'm paying for a gig download. I'm getting 200 megabytes for download instead. Seems about right. Seems pretty normal. So that's why we're using internet in the word. And my change is basically just going to be having enter plus it, which is really just taking from the end of the word limit. So it's a limit that is always slower than it should be. Enter it, because it's like the internet limit kind of deal, you know? So of course, internet doesn't really have anything to do with speed limits, but they just share that common thread, and that's why I'm using it. Plus there's always like interstate highways that have speed limits. Usually those are the speed limits that you really love to see because they're higher up. So they get a little bit of shine in this new word as well. And overall, I think it's good to reflect that these limits are always slower than they should be in the name, and that's why I've gone with what I have. There are times when these suggestions of signs can be somewhat appropriate, but in ideal and normal conditions, they are just not what they should be. So I personally think there should be significant changes across the board with the world's and country's approach to interrets. And that's going to be it for the word change. I had to wear the Timberwolves hat tonight because they just had a 6-game win streak after tonight, which they have not done since 2004. Yeah, 18 years. So I had to show some respect because it's been a long time since I've seen anything like this out of them. Even if they've played a lot of terrible teams in a row, it just feels good to see them do what they should do, unlike internet providers or the government and people in charge of making speed limit stuff. Yeah, that's all I got. Comment of the day time. Comment of the day yet again comes from Gavloff. It's a very long one, so I'm going to post everything, but only talk about a little bit of it. He gives an example of a pry-ex he has done, which I'm interested to hear about, but it didn't come across super clearly in the comment, I feel like. But then he addressed my pajama question about if people should wear underwear if they're wearing pajamas. He said he does, and he only doesn't if he's hoping for sexy time, and he asked if I'm feeling sexy And I'm basically always feeling sexy. That is essentially my eternal state of being, which I guess is kind of demonstrated by the song of the day. But we're not to that yet. I don't know, I think it's just a comfort thing for me, and I don't want to get overheated, so I feel like no underwear with the pajamas is the move. Because, I mean, pajamas, unless it's pajama day, isn't, like, public wear either. But maybe I should have gone underwearless on pajama day, because I feel like the sexual tension on those days was just, like, a little interesting, you know? Anyway, I like the effort on this comment. I would give you a very good score, but you didn't capitalize Kyle, which is kind of just like the ultimate disrespect. So for that, we're only going to give you a 52 out of 65. Now for the song of the day. Song of the day is one of my favorite songs as of late. It is Can't Feel My Legs by Don Toliver. This song is so catchy. I absolutely just vibe out to this thing. I really, really love it. And this was before I even saw the music video. And the music video is legit, basically just big old bouncing black booties just nonstop. Like, I know music videos in general have gone heavy in that direction, but I mean, it's like every single frame and shot of the video is just beautiful, bouncing black booty cheeks. And I can say that I really appreciate that. And I actually first watched this YouTube video with the other Gavin that usually comments on these videos. And we just clicked on it because I liked the song and I wanted to show it to him. And we saw the music video and I'm like, holy shit, did I stumble upon something amazing here. But yeah, that's pretty great. Then for the video of the day, we have every single bleep that happens in The Office.
I did it. I did a cartwheel.
You, God!
And I really loved these moments before when I was watching through the show because you just don't get it a whole lot. It's pretty rare. And I really enjoyed seeing them all propped up in a row because typically there's some pretty awesome moments in the show. So this is a great video too. And that will do it for the Daily Do.